We put our noses to the grindstone each and every day. We work our fingers to the bone just to gain some pay.
Welcome to our job. We're here in northeastern Illinois building a beautiful estate home. Today's our first day of framing out here on the project. We're starting with some lower level walls. Goal today is to get the lower level walls leveled, plumbed, and straightened. So it's a decent task for a nice one day. We should be able to achieve that and start working our way up to the first floor deck.
For the 5-man crew of carpenters, building the 186 lineal feet of 2x6 lower level walls at 11 feet tall is an arduous task. Typically, a lower level wall would be laid out flat and built atop of a concrete slab. But due to upcoming frigid temperatures, the slab won't be poured till spring, forcing these carpenters to frame atop of uneven subgrade terrain, snow, ice, and pools of water. The framed walls will be lifted and placed atop of the already poured footings.
Water up to my knees, dealing with the snow, getting that all shoveled out. Other than that, not too
bad.
Well, the guys are finishing up the lower level walls. They're straightening them, and we're going to be moving up to the first floor deck. And in the meantime, I'm going to start doing the layout for the garage walls. We had to first snap parallel and perpendicular lines to the house, and now I'm starting to run the green plates, which is the sill that sits on top of the concrete. It's the bottom plate of the wall.
and transfer it around.
These guys are getting the walls leveled, and once they're leveled, they can be straightened. Today's day 4 of our project. We got here and there's about 3 inches of snow. So the guys are behind me. They're shoveling off snow off of the areas where we have to put our floor joist. The floor joists are getting delivered this morning, so we'll start placing those and getting them cut and ready to install.
For veteran carpenter Dale Moore, walking the snow-covered top plates is like a stroll in the park. For rookie carpenter Cody Moore, strapping on the tool belt for the very first time is like a crash course in lumber identification, tool recognition, and carpentry terminology that's like another language. But for Cody, the challenge is well received, and he keeps the hungry crew of carpenters fed with lumber, tools, and anything else they need to keep the crew running like a well-oiled machine.
I've been cutting and spreading joist. There's a lot of them on this house, so it's going to take about a day and a half for us to get them all cut before we can actually start the production line setting them.
For veteran carpenters Drew Bittner and Billy Richards, cutting to some 300 floor joists requires 3 cuts per side: top chord, bottom chord, and vertical member of web. For longtime veteran and journeyman carpenter Alan Elkins, although he makes it look easy, handling the 14-inch deep, 22-foot-long floor trusses is a painstaking task. Because just hours ago, Al sustained a skill saw injury that almost severed the tip of his pinky finger. But instead of a trip to the emergency room for stitches, and like most gritty carpenters, Al chose a field dressing of gauze and duct tape, and willingly placed himself back on the front lines of production framing. Crew member Billy Richards installs what seems like miles of stay-lath, holding the bottom chords of each joist parallel with the top.
There's a lateral deflection on the bottom of the joist, so they stay parallel with the top. Beautiful sunny day. It's about 30 degrees on December. You can see the guys behind me are putting up the floor joist. We're about 3/4 of the way setting joist, and we'll be able to start running plywood on the top surface of the first floor deck. So we're making good progress.
stop or fire stop. If a fire starts in one portion of this building, it's only going to go as far as the air's going to let it, technically.
We're going to start sheeting the first floor deck. We got the main box to do and a couple other areas to do. We woke up this morning and there was some icy, rainy type precipitation on top of the joist. So we're a little concerned about the glue application. We're going to check out the instructions on the glue and see what the manufacturer recommends for that type of application.
We checked the specifications on the glue. It's specially designed for wet, frozen, anything lumber, because it's chemically drying instead of water soluble. So we decided we're going for it. We're going to sheet this thing.
The crew works diligently under adverse weather conditions, 33 degrees and rain all day long.
We woke up this morning and we had about 2 inches of snow on the first floor deck. We had just got the thing sheeted Friday, and so, first thing this morning we got to shovel this thing off and get it cleaned off. There's about a half inch of ice under the snow, so we're going to get some salt and a broadcast spreader and salt the whole deck. That way we can get this stuff melting off and start building first floor walls. This morning we woke up to another about 1.5 inches of snow on the first floor deck. So we're going to spend a couple hours getting the deck all shoveled off, and unfortunately underneath that we still have about a half inch of ice that we have to spread some ice melt salt and get that ice cleared away and down to the plywood so we can start building our first floor walls. Well, even though we iced the deck, we still have about a 1/4 inch of ice still on the deck. We're hoping that we get some warmer temperatures and the sun comes out so we can start scraping this thing, but it's definitely a mess, and we're going to have to get every bit of it off before we can start snow. Early in the morning we woke up, we got about 10 inches of snow, so we're going to spend the morning snow blowing off the first floor deck and just kind of unbury ourselves.
Northeast Illinois, and home to one of the largest inland bodies of water on the continent. Lake Michigan is so massive that it produces its own weather systems. And if local forecasters and meteorologists are correct, the crew could be faced with one of the harshest winters in decades.